And so I proclaim my love for you, broomstick. George, could you give us the rings? Thank you. They said that we could never be together. I don't know who they were really. It was just, I guess, the frying pan and the toaster. But here we are. We've broken all the odds. And oh, darn it. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah. All right. I gotta be a little more careful about that. Oh my gosh, the lighting is terrible today. Well, anyways, here we are. This is the video where I rank all the SpongeBob episodes, viewer requested. Jeez. That's probably the best I can do. It is really bad out here. It doesn't matter. We're going to be on the tier list. But how's everyone going? I know it's been a long time since I've saw you all, but I am actually a pretty big SpongeBob fan. I don't know if I'm like the biggest. I got to be honest, the SpongeBob fan asked me to do this list, a ranking. It's like, are you sure you want me to go through SpongeBob and like say whether I like it or not, or whether or not I think some videos are the worst and some episodes are the best. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. I got on my SpongeBob slippers, and this is also a before party for my Trickshot video. So some of you might know I've been teasing my Trickshot video for a while now, and it has taken a long time to make, about 2 years. And the worst part about it all is it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. But when you watch it, you'll realize why it took so long, even though it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. Hi, BuzzFan. Hi. Good to see you. I will admit, I don't want to get anyone angry here that is a SpongeBob fan, but my allegiance does go to Phineas and Ferb because I grew up with that. I don't know. It represents my life the best, I guess. For me, Phineas and Ferb is a masterpiece, and SpongeBob's just really, really good. SpongeBob would definitely be up there, though, like in the top 10 for sure. And I love SpongeBob. I can love both, can I? Can I just not like prefer one just a bit to the other? Okay. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's going to be crazy. We'll start the ranking at about 10 minutes, I guess. That way I can discuss some things about my Trickshot video and just you get a lot of things off my mind too. So I'll have to make sure we're sharing the screen and everything. I did look at those problems you all talked about in the Pixar ranking, and I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Those advertisements are just going to be something we're going to have to deal with. But yeah, there's nothing I can really do about the advertisements. I know there's just a little thing at the bottom there that's kind of distracting people or whatever. I can't really do anything about that. Maybe if I used a different tier listing thing, but I haven't been able to find any other ones. And I gotta be honest, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's just a little thing at the bottom. But if anyone has any ideas of how to get those advertisements away or stuff without touching them, we don't want to touch them because then we lose the page. And with this particular tier list, I had to make it myself. So if I do anything to refresh it, we're going to have to start all over. And we can do that. It's complicated, and I just don't want to. I'm going to try my best not to have to refresh the page. But yes. So that we're just going to have to deal with it. Oh, and I wanted to talk too about the Pixar rankings before we begin. So I got a lot of feedback, and I have to say there's a lot of people that think like Toy Story 2 isn't the best one. Some say it's Toy Story, and some say it's Toy Story 3. I didn't get a lot of votes as Toy Story 2 the best Pixar film. What I will say, though, is that I gave all three of them 100%. I don't know how I can give a better... Like, all three of the Toy Story films, they were the only Pixar films to get 100%. I can't give a better review. It's just at that point, when it's at 100%, it's just me preferring one over the other. So, yeah. But I also read your feedback though about the Lightyear movie, and most of you think that's the worst Pixar film. So I'm just going to go with that. I think that I've been outvoted. I want this channel to be a democracy. You're a part of this channel. So my official opinion, I guess, is that it's a pretty bland movie. I don't really have any huge issues with it. But I will admit that I didn't like it. I didn't like it much. I mean, just maybe a little, just because of the talking cat. But that's not enough, I guess, to save the movie. I still prefer it to The Good Dinosaur, but I will allow it. All right, we'll put that one. That'll be the first Pixar film in the garbage pile because so many people told me they dislike Lightyear. I've been outvoted. That's why it's a democracy. It's why it's not a dictatorship of just me. So Lightyear is now officially the worst Pixar film. But that wasn't from first impression, though. I will say that. From first impression, I thought it was the second worst. Or was Turning Red? No, third worst, because I said Turning Red was worse. The more I think about Turning Red, that's one of those movies where I'm like, man, that really just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. I'm surprised. I hate it even more when I think about it. It's not even that bad. I don't know. Maybe it's just so out of my style. Maybe it's just more of a city person movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not coming from the right place. But in other movie news too, I did want to talk about this. I was really hoping that the movie Emilia Perez would win Best Picture at the Oscars. Not because I've even watched the movie. I haven't. But because the whole internet was raging over Emilia Perez even being nominated. I was like, it would be so hilarious if they just won. I could imagine just the entire world just like groaning. It would just be funny to me. But no, I've never even seen the movie, so I don't know. I have a big collection of SpongeBob DVDs. At Walmart they have all 300 episodes of it. It's like in these big, huge discs. I really wanted to buy. I've got season 1 through 6. That's on Amazon Prime. I got any other ones available just from my own collection? I don't think so. But SpongeBob will actually be making an appearance in this Trickshot video. So I hope you all watch that. It's tomorrow, 6 o'clock on TikTok, not on YouTube. On YouTube, it'll be March 11th. But it's one of the biggest videos I've ever made. And I hate to even talk this video up because I know it's only a minute and a half long. But there's going to be more videos too of Trickshot. So if you're not satisfied with just a minute and a half, there's going to be more. And it was such a hard video to make. And SpongeBob makes an appearance. So it is on topic that I'm doing both. I can get away with it too because SpongeBob will be in the Trickshot video. You just have to keep an eagle eye out for him. He'll be hiding. Yeah, it's a big video I'm making. I'm really nervous about it. I really want it to do well. And that's why I'm advertising it so much, to be honest. I might be getting you guys too excited for what's essentially just a minute and a half of content, but I just really want people to watch it, because I work so hard on it. Hopefully they will. And hopefully we'll have even more videos coming up. April's coming, so I've got to make videos for April. And it definitely has nothing to do with me quitting or anything. It's just I'm doing every day. Yeah, it's just not working out. Like you, Broom. I don't think me and you are working out in our relationship. I think I'm going to marry the shovel in the back shed instead. Sorry. It was spicy with the two of us. A little awkward. Well, let's move on to something else. We don't have much time before I have to begin the ranking. I've done my best with this. It might refresh. I might have to go to files to put in the things. This is the only way of doing it, though, so I hope you all can be patient. It should be okay. And we will talk about one of my favorite cartoons, not the favorite. The favorite. All right. We'll wait till the 10-minute mark now. I guess now we're just waiting. I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. SpongeBob was such a good show, though. When we were kids, man, it was just huge. And I love SpongeBob. I mean, it's The comedy is really where it shines, SpongeBob. Okay, we're going to share screen here. Alrighty, sharing screen. I've also got the Wikipedia thing, so if we make a mistake or something, I'm hoping we'll be able to catch it. So I'm going to share screen with the create a tier list. And please tell me if something goes wrong. Okay, so it won't be sharing the Wikipedia page because I'm kind of concentrating on the tier list itself. Hopefully there's something here. Oh, just wait a minute. Wait. Oh, good. It's still here. Okay, good. I'm really scared. And I'm sorry about the advertisements. I just can't, as far as I can tell, there's nothing I can do about it. It shouldn't be too bad. And if any of you all need me to like share it a little bit better, please tell me. I love input. All right, let's see what one we got to do first. Help Wanted. All right, so Help Wanted is the first episode of the series. Where is it down at? All right, it's going to be a little bit of a search and find. Help Wanted. So, hold on, it's frozen. I can't see you. It's 2025 and Nickelodeon is still making, yeah. So I like a lot. You know, I pride myself on being a critic who usually house. It's just going so slow though. Oh my gosh. All right, bubble stand. You know, I feel like with this one, they go big enough with the final bubble. Like, if you're going to do the final SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, you've got to go. And, you know, when I say these things, it sounds like I'm speaking so negatively about these episodes. I don't want you all to think that. I really do enjoy almost all of these episodes. It's just, you know, I have to come up with something negative to say about it to explain why it can't be in the S tier. And this one, I think it would be in the A tier with it. Of course, the whole scene of SpongeBob like doing the dance and Squidward doing it. It's a classic meme. It's because you see the reason why this humor works so well. But yeah, the music is great. The actors are great. I love all of those guys: Tom Kenny, Roger Bumpus, Bill Baker, Mr. Lawrence, and Mrs. Lawrence. I love them all. This one was really good though because of the bubbles themselves. Were very like creative. You know, it's a lot to try and carry though. Just that bubble stand, that entire time. I do like that Squidward, like almost, you know, you can tell he wants to do the bubbles, but he just doesn't want to admit it. He just wants SpongeBob and Patrick to seem dumb, but then he ends up liking it. That's kind of the whole point of their relationship. That deep down, Squidward wants to be like SpongeBob and Patrick. Squidward and Patrick. Squidward's my favorite character too, by the way. Stream lag, and I couldn't see the other ranks, and I can't see the list. Yeah, it's just a little slow, the lagging. Don't think there's much we can do about it. I hope that it stops here soon. It probably will. I'm guessing just a lot of people are using the internet. I'm going to have to go back to my room, though. We'll take a break here in about, once we get through 10 episodes or so. Okay. And now let's go to the next episode. Rip Pants. I think this one's sometimes considered like one of the best episodes. I mean, it's not bad. Oh my gosh, this thing is being so slow though. Oh my gosh. You know, it doesn't do this. It didn't do this for the Pixar. I don't know why it is. It's starting to speed up a little bit. I think it was just earlier on today. Ripped pants. Okay, where is that? There's ripped pants. Okay. All right. Come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. Rip pants would be in the territory, I think. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No. I think I think it should be in the S. Do I have any issues with ripped pants? It's important to note that with pretty much all of these, I like the animation. SpongeBob's surroundings, the ocean and Bikini Bottom, are so beautiful. I love the flower sky. There is just some beautiful visuals with SpongeBob SquarePants. This is definitely Ripped Pants, one of the best episodes. Definitely has a really good lesson to it. I like the music number at the end. I especially love, probably my favorite part of this episode is how SpongeBob ends up losing both of his pants and his underwear. People sometimes wonder whether SpongeBob is appropriate for children or not. And I'll admit, the stuff with him getting his brains coming out and his eyeballs, it was always weird. I don't know why they do that. But I think SpongeBob's appropriate for children. I think it's just, maybe just around 10 or something. Elementary school for sure, not like under 4. You wouldn't want to show an under 4 child this. Phineas and Ferb, you could probably get away with showing them an under 4-year-old Phineas and Ferb, at least in my opinion. Jellyfishing. What was the reason why I have to put it not at 100%? Because it's not at 100%. It'd be like a 97. Oh, what was it? It was everyone does a good job. It's a really good episode. One of the best episodes of season 1 for sure. Hold on, give me a second. Jellyfishing. Everything. At least we're good. We're speeding up a little bit. SpongeBob and Patrick take Squidward, who's recovering from a bicycle accident. Now, I got to tell you why it's not at 100%. Because it is a really good episode. I didn't have many problems. I think a few of the jokes I didn't like. There was one, well, especially, I mean, the Rip Pants thing got a little old, but that was the point of the episode. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Sunbeam guy was funny. I forget which joke was didn't work. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you next time. There was a joke I distinctly remember. I can't remember it now. I'm sorry. But there was a few jokes I didn't like in that episode. But for the most part, yeah, that was a really good episode, Rip Pants. I definitely see why it's like one of the top episodes. Plankton. We're getting back on track. I know there was a lot of chaos there, and I'm sorry for it. I can't really control some things when it comes to doing a live, so there's just nothing I can do really. Plankton. Oh, Plankton. This episode. So this is the first time we ever meet Plankton. Now, for some reason, I thought he came in earlier than this. I was surprised to find out Karen came in so early. Still being a little hard to pull. So, see, I'm trying to push Plankton here. Plankton attempts to make friends with SpongeBob. This episode's really weird. I don't know if I like this episode much. I mean, it's not bad. Plankton goes inside SpongeBob's brain, and it's kind of a weird episode. Another thing too, I didn't really like the way SpongeBob gets Plankton to, he ends up being victorious over SpongeBob. Problem of coming up with ex machinas. They're really just kind of inconsistent, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here in one of the later episodes. And I do need to talk about jellyfishing too. I know. I actually think jellyfishing was a pretty good one. But yeah, SpongeBob did that a lot. where they're not very good with ex machinas for some reason. Like the reason why Plankton ends up losing is because he gets all hungry for a Krabby Patty. Jellyfishing. Oh, this is a good one. Just for it's kind of hard to watch because we have to watch. And again, Squidward is my favorite character on this show. It's always hard to watch him get hurt. You know, I can take annoying people very well. I don't people like screaming and stuff. I just see that part of life going through. But even me, if SpongeBob and Patrick lived by me, I'd be calling the cops on them. I mean, they break into poor Squidward's house. I don't see why he never called the cops on SpongeBob and Patrick. That's not normal behavior. I mean, I am totally on Squidward's side. And I think he has beautiful artwork. I'm just going to say, and I think he's beautiful. Squidward is a very beautiful individual. This is the Reef Blower episode. Jellyfish. Well, no, I don't think it is actually. Hold on. Because, there's just so much pain involved. It does get a little tiring watching Squidward just getting hurt, to be honest. It's pretty rough. I'll put it in the A territory, but I think it's a little less than the bubble stand. It does have a funny conclusion, though, with Squidward getting buzzed by the, oh my gosh, these things. Getting buzzed at the end by giant jellyfish. Okay. Everything going? Hold on. Are we good on the tier list? What happened to the stream? It crashed. Maybe here in an hour we'll take a break for everybody. I'm so sorry this thing's crashing as it is. I just wish there was something I could do, and there just really isn't. There's just no controlling this. Maybe next time I'll shoot at my own house. Naughty nautical neighbors. Oh, this is a weird one where SpongeBob and Patrick fight over who's the best friend of Squidward. And it was Squidward that instigated it too. That was kind of the joke of the whole thing. And then he doesn't want SpongeBob and Patrick to be he doesn't want SpongeBob and Patrick to be friends, but then that means that they're going to be friends with him. Naughty nautical neighbors. Is it in here? Did I forget to put that one in here? Should be. I was a teenage. Naughty nautical neighbors. Oh, there it is. Right there. Besides Neptune's spatula. Oh my gosh, it's being slow. All right. Everybody loves Squidward, though. I mean, his artwork's beautiful. His music. I would buy his artwork. I like Squidward more than SpongeBob and Patrick. I get tired of him getting attacked. I think that's why the Band Geeks episode did so well. It was just like everybody wants to see Squidward win. He deserves it for sure. Naughty nautical neighbors. Some of these are hard, man. Where do you put naughty nautical neighbors? Get as a C. Another thing too, you don't realize this when you're a kid, but a lot of the stuff SpongeBob and Patrick are doing would be so strange if a person did it in real life. Like Patrick's in Squidward's bathtub and just sitting in there when Squidward's trying to take a bath. Of course, breaking into their. I mean, I think there was one episode I just saw recently where SpongeBob copies Squidward's house exactly, and just eventually Squidward has to live there, and it's just really creepy. He gets creeped out by it. They are not healthy neighbors for sure. Yeah, it's a good episode. I didn't think the jokes were particularly good. I mean, it's funny to see Patrick in Squidward's bathtub. I don't know, just jokes like that, and they happen a lot in SpongeBob, really. Naughty nautical neighbors. Help wanted. No, I think naughty nautical neighbor. Well, yeah, it's better. Jellyfishing. I think it's better than jellyfishing. We'll put it. I'd say. I'd say it's a little better though. I think the personality of the characters is better here. Yeah, I'd say that's right. So reef blower. I really like the reef blower short. It's not even much. It's hard to even go off it. But yeah, it's right now it's one of the top two. Naughty nautical neighbors. A very good story though when it comes to their emotions. And again, I never like the ex machinas in SpongeBob SquarePants. I think at the end of this one, doesn't Squidward's house get destroyed? I really need to just watch this. I just watched these episodes, by the way. I just watched them this week, and I'm still having problems remembering them. Season 1 was definitely not the best. I'd say season 2 of SpongeBob was much better. I don't know if I want to do season 2 though, because this experiment hasn't gone very well. But not because of anything I'm doing. I'm doing great. I'm doing a great job. No, I'm having fun though. I love SpongeBob. I just like talking about him. I'm sure this won't be the most accurate list on the internet of what episodes are the best, but man, it's talking about SpongeBob's a lot of fun. It is. It really was part of my childhood. It was my favorite cartoon up until Phineas and Ferb came out, and the reason I like Phineas and Ferb better though is just because it so reflects my own life. In fact, I think this episode the Trickshot episode I have coming out is like it was majorly inspired by Phineas and Ferb. Is boating school in here? Where is boating school? It's so hard to see these. Why is it? There's not even that many left now. Mermaid Man, boating school. Did I not put boating school in? I might not have. It's totally possible. Boating school. I guess I didn't. I guess it's not in here. Okay. Hold on. I don't know if you all can see my file thing. Hopefully not. Boating school. It's in here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I must not have put it in there. And is it in there now? Boating school. Where is it? Oh, there it is at the end. Okay, come on. We'll just have to deal with the slow lag and stuff. I think we're doing all right. I won't pretend like I'm not frustrated though. This has been frustrating. I tried this last night. It was fine. I just don't think there's really much I can do about it. Oh, this one, yeah, the boating school one. So this is the first time with Mrs. Puff, who's a great character too. Not as clearly Squirrels is the greatest character of all time. I think we all can agree. That's why Avengers Infinity War shouted him out. We love Squidward. Boating school. Again, like I feel like with SpongeBob, for what reason, they are very bad machinas. Their ex machinas do not connect with their story and don't feel rewarding. At least for me. That's like one of the big reasons why a lot of these are so low. Bowden, I don't know if anyone really cares though, to be honest. Who cares? Sometimes too with SpongeBob things, storylines like with Bubble Stand can drag on. I think this is better though than Bubble Stand. Better than Nautical Neighbors for sure. It's going to be a lot of episodes on the A tier. This was a great season though. Make no mistakes. I'm criticizing because I have to. I have to do this. Like, there's so many great things about SpongeBob, from the music, the animation, Tom Kenny's, whether you like it or not. It is annoying. I get that. Tom Kenny's voice is annoying. And he himself has admitted intentionally made it annoying. It's not like a big secret or anything. But it's very well done. His laugh, all of that. That's very good voice acting on his part. And I think, I don't get annoyed by SpongeBob particularly. I think he does a good job walking that tightrope. Put that there. What's another thing I wanted to say about SpongeBob? I really like that SpongeBob is a character that can cry and doesn't feel like he's a wuss for it. A lot of times when like Spider-Man, people make fun of Spider-Man. No one ever makes fun of SpongeBob for crying. Do you ever notice that? He cries a lot, but it just feels natural. I think SpongeBob has been a good role model for kids and what they're going through, what young boys are going through. You weren't supposed to be silly as a boy. You weren't supposed to cry. You weren't supposed to have all these motions. You're supposed to keep them locked away. And SpongeBob just did it all. He enjoyed his life. He had a lust for life. He was happy. It's a kind of optimism that I think we all can take an inspiration from. I know Tom Kenny has, for sure. He said that inspiration. Are we all good here? I haven't gotten any more from you all in chat as far as I can tell. Nothing seems to have happened, so I think 0 people are watching. Maybe that'd be a good time to take a break. But yeah, what a great episode. Boating School is very funny. Now we're moving on to Pizza Delivery. Oh, this is a classic episode. Really just a very good episode. We'll take a break at 7. How about that? Oh my gosh, this thing is being slow. Man. Such a shame that this happened. But I'm going to go through the whole thing with you all. We will survive it. Or you can skip ahead to the one that, I'm sorry, I just bit my nail. I'm nervous. I didn't mean to bite my nail. I was just kind of like getting annoyed by this as much as you all were. You've seen me do everything else, though. I think you've seen me fart and burp. Oh, good. Okay. This is another one that's considered one of the greatest. I definitely like it a lot. Pizza Delivery, is it here? No, I must have missed that one. Okay, hold on. And now the whole thing's froze up again. Okay, there we go. Ooh, it is being slow. Ooh. I hate it. I hate it as much as you all do. Ah, there we go. Pizza Delivery. All right. Okay. Did it work? What happened? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay, there we go. Pizza Delivery. I brought back Bowden School too, just in case. We should be all right. Oh my god. You know what? I think we all need a break for just a second. Let's just take 5. This thing's being really slow. Oh, somebody's back. Okay, good. All right. We won't take a break. We'll go to 7. Pizza Delivery. What a classic episode, though. So many good memes from this, and it just feels like such a journey to. Oh my god, this is definitely going to be up in the top. This is definitely going to be one of the best. This is going to be like a 99%. I don't know if any episode hit 100%. We'll see. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, come here. I might have to find some new software though. This thing is awful. Well, today it has. Usually it doesn't do this. It's okay. There we go. All right. Well, that's fine. I'm okay with all those. None of those on the D category are accurate. So just to let you know, pizza delivery definitely better than ripped pants. It's such a journey. That's what I love about it. I really don't have that many bad things to say about this episode. I think the Ex Machina again is not that good. Maybe it's just a style thing. Maybe some of you all really like the Ex Machinas in this show, but eventually it's just like the stone can drive. That's the explanation they give. It's a funny explanation, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure it's super funny, but that would be the main reason I don't like. That's the only thing, because it's such a good journey. It feels like so much is done in such a little time, and then to see Square, finally protecting SpongeBob, you realize that is part of his character too. And it's always tricky when you have a character like Squidward, because you have to ask yourself, how much of a jerk should he be? Going too far? That's a question I ask myself a lot when I make a story. How much can I push this and get away with it? And I think they do a pretty job with Squidward. It's tricky. There's definitely times when I'm like, maybe they should here, or maybe he should have been a little nicer here. Maybe this isn't in his character. But if you ever make a jerk character, you're going to have to ask yourself that question. Where do you draw the line? You should ask yourself that question. You're not doing it right if you don't. It's not moving. There we go. Pizza delivery. It might be the best. I mean, this is a 99%. This is like a 97% because there were just a few jokes I really didn't like. I wish I could cite the jokes for you all. I notes and yeah. I really like that one. Sorry. Funny gags too. It's so cool too because SpongeBob is so smart, really. Like, yeah, he does dumb stuff, but he's so good at things. Anything he puts into, it's just like art. In some of these future episodes, he wins against Squidward. He can play the clarinet better than Squidward. I don't think his artwork's as good as Squidward's, but I'm just a huge fan of Squidward's artwork. Home Sweet Pineapple. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Another one where the Ex Machina is a little weird. It might just be a style too. I'm not, the thing about storytelling is, at some level, you could just go like, well, the music and the animation, cinematography, who even cares about the story? But let's all be honest. None of us want to approach criticism that way. We all kind of want to like talk about the story a little bit. It just seems pointless if you don't. I mean, it's hard to get that side right, and you might even get it wrong. But like, who wants to just make it about like the music and the voice acting? And yeah, if it was that, this show would be perfect, basically. Some really good voice acting. I think everyone does a good job with their voice, especially Tom Kenny. It is shocking to find out the characters he plays, with exception of Gary. I think we all played by Tom Kenny. Home Sweet Pineapple. I think I do like it a little better than jellyfishing. I'm sorry, my mouse is being slow too. We'll take a break at 7. I think we're all this lag has just been so bad. Yes. If you all wanted, we can make this 2. I hate to do that to you all. You've all sat through so much already. And I'm thankful to you all for sitting through this. I know it's not best. It probably never will be, to be honest. I think this is just how live goes, especially with this ranking stuff. But I just have so much fun with it. I love to rank things. Yeah, this thing's being really slow today. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Rip Pants. Gosh, I'm going to rewatch this video, and it's just going to be me talking about how slow everything is and stuff. And I hate when I do that. Okay. No more talking about it. We're not allowed to talk about it anymore. That's the end of it. Where are we? Home Sweet Pineapple. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember where we were. I got it on the list, Wikipedia list here. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, Wikipedia page, just so I know, just a little whenever I need to remember where we're at too. I have to make sure I get every episode. Oh yeah, this is when SpongeBob and Patrick go to the retirement home. Yeah, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are really weird characters, aren't they? They just sort of come out of nowhere. Oh, it's up here, isn't it? I put it up here. Yeah, there it is. All right. Oh, Home Sweet Pineapple, actually. I don't think I finished talking about that. The only thing I really didn't like about that one was the Ex Machina. I guess, that the pineapple thing, that was a pineapple seed. That was really the only issue. It's a good episode. Of course, it's funny to see Squidward winning SpongeBob. You wonder though with that a little bit, like that's again one of those things where you ask yourself, how much of a jerk is Squidward? Because seeing SpongeBob move, wouldn't he be a little bit disappointed? I guess not. He's just moving. I'm sure Squidward doesn't want SpongeBob dead, right? Oh, by the way, just as far as I know, I haven't watched every episode of SpongeBob, but as far as I know, the worst episode that I've ever seen is the Splinter. That is a awful SpongeBob, and it came from a season 2 that wasn't even really that bad. Season 6, there was plenty of good episodes in season 6, but again, another one. I feel like I'm beating the dead horse, but it's the Ex Machina. Like, I feel like one, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's powers weren't shut off enough. But like at the end, it's basically they had the little whirlwind, and then wait, hold on a second. I really like too the idea of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy though playing checkers. It's a great episode. I think Phil Conroy, right, was the one of the voices. They be regulars. They're great characters. Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy. By the way, props to Steven Hillenberg for bringing in so many new animators that were struggling. They didn't have a big cast though. I don't think he really helped a lot of voice actors. But that can't really be helped. That's just the studio. A lot of that stuff. It's a shame too. I mean, it's just the way it is. But he helped out a lot of animators who just didn't have jobs. So that was cool of him. He was it's funny too. They had all that Nickelodeon like stuff about what was it, Dan Harmon or somebody. He was the guy that wrote Drake and Josh. Had all this stuff about him, how horrible he was, the stuff he was doing with children, which I'm not even going to get into that, but it's like they treated Steven Hillenberg so poorly, Nickelodeon, and they were giving Dan Harmon like these, and I hope I got that name right. It was the guy that wrote Drake and Josh, but him awards, he got got to rule over teens. And they just didn't do as much for like Hillenberg. And he was like literally their poster child. Like it was just awful. I don't know why they like Harmon so much, especially since he turned out to be such a freak. I'm glad they got rid of him, but like a little too late, buddy. I mean, even that whole thing, that was a whole thing. Even getting rid of him, I think it had more to do with just his numbers and then pretending like it was like, yeah. Nickelodeon has a dark side for sure. All right. Don't worry, these aren't in the DTAT category for anybody who just came in. Pickles. Let's do pickles before we quit. Yeah, I think the powers Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy used weren't very interesting. I did like how they, brought in the whole the whole retirement home to try and defeat SpongeBob. Pickles. Let's take a break. I changed my mind. We're gonna just take we'll just take 3 minutes. I don't really need that many, and we will come back to this. So just hang tight. Oh, alrighty. Ugh. Solve any IT problem remotely. There's a lot of advertisements on this. Okay. Well, that was nice. Y'all ever notice that there's a lot of famous Stevens? I think I'm going to name my son Steven because there's just so many. Well, nobody's here. I'll say it when somebody's here. Alrighty. So we've made it to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Now we're getting into pickles. Pickles. We were talking about pickles. Ah, there we go. Pickles. So this is the first one with Bubble Bass. Bubble Bass is an interesting character. I think it's probably everyone's least favorite. But he's funny just because of how dumb he is. I don't know. The fact that the pickles were underneath his tongue the whole time. Maybe I'm just not getting it. I'm not a fan, of what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying it. The pickles. I think Plankton is a better episode than the pickles. I just thought it was kind of dumb. I mean, it's about SpongeBob regaining his ability as a fry cook. I mean, the plot's all great and all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know what to say with that one. Like, it's just the fact that it's just. I think Bubble Bass being a villain isn't that he's just not an interesting character to begin with. I almost feel like Squidward could have been in this episode more, and they could have gone into, and also just again, like SpongeBob, just the reason why he becomes a great fry cook again to take on Bubble Bass again is just because he wasn't thinking about it. I guess that kind of works, but I just would have liked something a little more spiritual, a little bit more story in it. That from my experience as a storyteller, you try to make those kind of steps work better, and it just feels like they hurry through it too much. It just SpongeBob just decides, hey, I'm gonna be good now. Yeah, and if they were gonna have it like he's suddenly good at it again, they should just say, there it is, SpongeBob. All you have to do is not think about it. But they didn't say that. They should have said that. That would have made it feel at least a little better. Definitely not a favorite episode of mine. Oh, wait. That would mean that this Pickles is better than Plankton. That's definitely not the case. Pickles is worse than Plankton. I think I'm finally figuring out it's the mouse drag is just going a little slow, but it will eventually go there. So I figured that out. We're okay there now. It usually is faster. So I don't know why. I think because there's a lot of people on the internet right now. Hall monitor. Okay. So, yeah. Hall monitor. That's the one where SpongeBob becomes a hall monitor. Genius. Where do they come up? I feel like coming up with ideas for SpongeBob is not as hard as the writers have tried to make it out to be. I feel like I could do it. I could come up with something for SpongeBob. Pirates. I guess the whole monitor idea is kind of cool. It is funny at the end there where SpongeBob thinks where Patrick's looking straight at SpongeBob. And he's like, SpongeBob, I see the menace, and it's just SpongeBob. He doesn't realize it's him, so he's running all around, and he thinks that the menace is following him. It's a good episode. Yeah, I think too the thing with Mrs. Puff at the end, where it's like the ending too with a lot of SpongeBob episodes. Not that they're ever bad; they're actually really good endings. But it's the ending too with Miss Puff getting in trouble for SpongeBob deeds. It doesn't teach really SpongeBob anything. Not to be so strict when it comes to rules. Why does Miss Puff get punished? It doesn't make sense to the moral. I guess it's funny enough. Yeah, definitely not a favorite of mine. I still say it's a C. These are intentionally being put in the C category because although I don't like them, it's like I said with Lightyear. I think it's just sort of bland. I'd still watch it and enjoy it enough. I think pretty much all these episodes are going to be like that, to be honest. Hall monitor. Would I put it? I think I'd put it above Pickles. Because at least the stuff that happens with SpongeBob being strict and Patrick, there's plenty of funny moments in it. I'm sure there's people that think the Pickles episode is hilarious. I'm just not one of them. Are we back? No. All right. I understand it. It has been lagging a lot. But at least I'm trying. I'm trying, folks. I wonder if anyone will ever watch this part, or will they just skip ahead? Hall monitor. Jellyfish jam. Oh, I remember. This one had really good musical accompaniment to it. Very, very funny. Oh, there's Jellyfish Jam right there. I don't have to take it out from that part. All right, Jellyfish Jam. No, just a really good episode. That it's kind of plain, honestly. There's nothing particularly funny or impressive about it. And again, like Gary knocking his eyes together is what gets. I do like though the moral to this one better than like the what was it when the one the I like the moral better with this one than like I don't know, maybe like Help Wanted, because it's like nature. Nature is what eventually gets the jellyfish to return. It's their natural environment, going back to the music of nature. It's a very beautiful message in this one. I think I could put it. Should I put it as high as that though? I just don't. Well, it has really great music. It doesn't have a lot of funny scenes though. There's nothing. Does anyone like remember any particularly hilarious moment? You know, I do like the moral though in Jellyfish Jam for sure. Uh, it's gonna go right here. There we go. Okay. I think I can put it above Reef Blower though. It just has such good music. It's a good little episode. I mean, I don't like it as much as it might seem like I'm liking it right now, but it is a very good episode. I guess a lot of SpongeBob episodes have that though. Some of them have super good comedy, and then, they'll do something really stupid. All right, let's see what the next episode will be. Sandy's Rocket. Okay, so this is the one where they decide, what the heck, let's have SpongeBob go up into space. Sandy's Rocket. Okay, I figured it out. I figured it out, everyone. I figured out how to maneuver around here. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, I'm better at it now. Where should I put this one, though? This is one of those where they don't complete the story, but I actually kind of like that they don't. They just leave. I'm going to spoil it. They just leave everybody up on the moon. It's the kind of thing that would happen on an episode of SpongeBob. Oh man, I think I like this better than the Reef Blowers one. Not probably as much as the Rip Pants. I love episodes about space, though. Honestly, yeah, I'd say above Reef Blower for sure. Reef Blower is a cute little thing. There's really not too much wrong to say about it. But I don't know. It's so short. It's hard to compare this one to all these other ones because of the length. A cute little episode though, for sure. And yeah, I love episodes about space. I love the Phineas and Ferb episode about space, the Simpsons episode about space, even the Family Guy episode about space. It's just something about, I think it's because of the preparation of going up into space. And it is a little dumb of SpongeBob and Patrick to take over their whole town, but that's the kind of comedy I would expect from them. It really is. Maybe I should put this in the S tier. I don't even have much wrong to say about it. I love how Patrick ends up catching himself at the end. and they throw them all up. No, it's a great episode. Great episode. Okay, something's wrong here. It's not moving. I do think, I guess one thing I could say negative about Sandy's rocket is I feel like Sandy's storyline was a little like they just catch her. That's all that happens with Sandy's story. I feel like they could have done more than that. She didn't really end up having that much of a point. I think that's a perfect place for it, though. It's a good episode aside of that. And again, you know, so much can be said about these episodes, from the voice acting, the beautiful surroundings. I mean, the artwork definitely got better later on, but from what the budget they had starting out that they were allowed, it was very impressive. They definitely showed why they should be taken seriously. Squeaky boots. Okay, please don't refresh. Please do not refresh. Okay, it's not refreshing. Good. If it refreshes, we lose everything, and then we'll probably end up quitting. Okay, so some people don't like this episode because the boots are a little annoying. That's one of the things about annoying things. It's tricky to call anything annoying, really, because how can you prove that? And I think one of the ways you can say, okay, this character doesn't work, is if the dialogue for the character is poorly written, like in the case of Jar Jar Binks, where a lot of the jokes fall flat, and if the character has a bit of a really annoying voice. You could make the argument SpongeBob does. I think Tom Kenny managed to get away with it. I didn't get annoyed by the boots. I do see why other people might. I do like that it's basically the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Telltale Heart. I like, that we see a little more of Mr. Krabs too. Yeah, not too much really happens in it, to be honest. Just basically retelling the Telltale Heart. It's kind of a weird episode. It's based off the Edgar Allan Poe book, story. I do admit the boots are a little annoying. It's a weird concept to begin with for a SpongeBob episode. SpongeBob gets squeaky boots. I don't really have much to say about it. I guess, yeah, it does get a little irritating with the boots. I guess it's above help wanted. I like that the whale character, though, got her. I like that Mr. Krabs finally got a little bit of a break, too, at the end. That was kind of nice. Yeah, we're moving right along. We're almost done, everybody. I believe, right? I like SpongeBob never gets mad at people, too. He just completely forgives. It's not even a thing. You know that with SpongeBob. SpongeBob. And so next up is Nature Pants. SpongeBob decides that he wants to live in the wild with jellyfish. And then he finds out things are a lot harder than than they seem. And that one is Nature Pants. Okay. I know we have Nature Pants on here somewhere. There it is. Nature Pants. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, we get to see SpongeBob show. One reason I think people find it inappropriate, aside of all the, SpongeBob removing his brain and his eyeballs and his body parts, which I admit I never really got that joke. I don't really find it funny to begin with. And another reason people find it offensive sometimes is because SpongeBob gets naked a lot, or he's in his underwear. And, kids find that hilarious. That's another thing. I think SpongeBob really does connect with children so well because he's just so much like a kid himself. He just does the things kids want to do, like run around naked. I think we all want to do that as children, and probably as adults too, to be honest. This is a tricky one. Of course, it's always hard to see Patrick dissuading SpongeBob from doing what he loves to do. I do like too that Squidward makes a joke about the episode being 11 minutes long. I don't know why. It's not even that funny, really. But how does it all? And it ends with SpongeBob going back to his home. It becomes too much for him because he discovers living out in the wild isn't as great as. I think something bigger could have happened. It's just a plain episode, kind of forgettable, really. Tea at the Tea don't. I don't think it's like Plankton levels though. At least it had something to it. Of course, it's not really help wanted levels either. I think it's very low on the. I don't know if it's a B though. I mean, it's such a nothing. I have trouble even coming up with much to say about it. It's such a nothing episode, really, but a good one. I mean, it's not bad. I definitely enjoy watching it. Okay, Nature Pants next above Plankton. I think that'd be fair. A high C, like a 79. Where are we at? Anybody watching? Nope. That's okay. I get it. I know that this thing's moving slow. This is more for me than for all of you. My parents just got back home too. I'm leaving. I'm going to my own house. I just got stuck here. Hey, you got to give me credit to stay through all this, I could have left. It's definitely moving a lot faster now. I guess it was just cuz the Wi-Fi was dragging a bit. I'm glad to see that it's moving a little faster. Thank goodness. Whew. Oh, I wanted to say, have you ever noticed there's so many Stevens that are famous? They're like Stephen Hillenburg, obviously, but there's also like Stephen King, Stephen Hawking, Stephen Carell. This just seems like everyone whose name's Stephen like is really, really talented. So I was thinking of naming my child Steve, even though it's not really a good name, but it just seems like it breeds so much greatness. Like, look, the greatest scientist ever, Stephen Hawking. Greatest director ever, Steven Spielberg. Well, according to some people. I'm just saying what some people think. But Stephen King, greatest writer. Like, great comedic actors, Stephen Martin and Steve Carell. Like, newscasters, Stephen Colbert. Just Steve just it results in greatness. I don't know why. Must be one of those weird little niches in nature or something. I don't know. I really don't want to name my child Steve though. It's so boring of a name. Maybe it's not worth it. Okay. Nature Pants. It is funny too how everyone gets those urchins so at the end of the SpongeBob episode. Nature Pants. Opposite Day. Okay, Opposite Day. This is another one. There was a lot of C ones really at the in the first season. I don't think I grabbed Opposite Day, did I? Oh, it is. And it got thrown in the D category because things are moving so slow. I think this one's a C one too. Where Nature Pants going B? Okay, I can buy that. Yeah, it could be an 80. Should I let nature decide that? I feel like I'm cheating though. Okay, I did say it was a 79, so we'll just put it here. Unless I can't get it over there, in which case you all are just going to have to imagine that it's in the C category. Well, we're really picking up now. I really feel good now. I really feel like we've figured it all out, if the worst problem is just this, I think we've got it pretty good, really. I've had way worse happen on one of these shows. Okay, we're giving up on the the Nature Pants going in the C category. You're just gonna have to imagine that. And honestly, it could easily be in B too. It's just a plain episode. It's a good episode, but not really too much happens in it. Opposite Day is is one of the most fascinating episodes on this entire list. I don't even really know what to make of it. I do like that it's like opposite, like SpongeBob, and but you ask yourself the question like, what is exact opposite? Like, how can you be exact? Like for me, if I was opposite, am I going to be a girl, or if I'm a girl, or like it gets so confusing with that. Like SpongeBob should be like Squidward, or then he should be like maybe Patrick, or I don't know. It gets confusing with opposite. How far do you take opposite? Like instead of being on the ground, should you fly up in the air? Instead of walking, should you jump? Instead of breathing, should you not breathe? That's a question Patrick has to answer actually in this episode. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I get really confused by these concepts. And things get really crazy with opposite day. But the main problem is Squidward's trying to sell his house, and in the end, the thing they do is they don't. It doesn't happen. It's that one woman that's the main threat, and basically they just say, "Ah, heck with it. That's not the problem. Just screw it. It's not that big of a deal." She just leaves because she gets annoyed by SpongeBob and Patrick. So not really one of my favorite. I don't. I guess because of her coming in and it not being big enough. I will say though, I love the concept of opposite. I really do. It's something it really should be done more, but it's tricky because how far should you take it? You know, I wish the real estate agent though wasn't the main threat, and that they came up with something a little better than just SpongeBob and Patrick. They annoy Squidward by being the opposite. Like I like, come on. Couldn't they come up with like a better thing to happen to stop her from coming in? Maybe instead it's Squidward that's the problem. It has nothing to do with SpongeBob and Patrick. I hope you all get what I'm saying. I do for sure. I think this is better than it's definitely better than Squeaky Boots. Is it a B? Yeah. Well, I gotta give Squeaky Boots credit. I wasn't able to say too much against it. Just that I couldn't put it in the A category. I got to be fair. Sometimes I don't exactly. I will admit this. I don't always have the best explanations to why things are in the tier list. I go a little bit by heart. I guess that's just kind of the thing, though, when you're criticizing with storytelling. You have to just kind of go with your heart sometimes, go by the feeling of something. Because it's just it is a hard thing to do, criticizing. Oh, this one. This is a really good one. I'm still mad with this episode, Culture Shock, that Squidward's dance routine wasn't considered amazing. If you watch that episode, you'll see what I mean. He does this incredible dance, and they're more entertained by SpongeBob brooming it off the stage. And this one is another thing where I realize SpongeBob is way more talented than people realize, because he's able to like people and do artwork and do art and do all of these things so well, and people just fall in love with him. It's kind of sad in a way. Maybe Bikini Bottom's just not is just too dumb to understand Squidward's brilliance. Squidward is the true genius, and SpongeBob just does these dumb things like freaking mop the floor or make Krabby Patties, and everybody loves him. It's sad in a way. I just the world just doesn't understand Squidward, and I don't know why. I mean, he's so wonderful. I'm a big Squidward fan. The more you get, the more you live, I think, the more you start to understand Squidward. I didn't like a lot of the musical routine. I mean, I didn't like a lot of the productions they did, in this one. Where the characters do their parts. You basically just have Plankton just tries to steal a Krabby Patty, and I think I forget what Pearl does. I think she just jumps around and all the characters fly up in the air. They didn't come up with very good things there. Um, Squidward's dance should have gotten a stunning applause. That's another thing I don't like. I guess it's still a B though. Put it above Nature Pants. I would say it's below Nature Pants. It's not a particularly great one. There's definitely been better for sure. All right, fun. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime and all down here in the deep blue sea. None of the SpongeBob cast has very particularly good voices, but I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. They're singing in character. That's really hard to do. I don't think any. I think with the exception of Seth MacFarlane, who, to be honest, even though people don't like Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane, regardless of whether he's a nice person or not, is a freaking champion. He can do so much: sing, act, write, direct. He's just very good. I think he draws some of the characters too. He's very, very talented man. I mean, he's probably like he's very talented for sure. Fun. And what happens at the end of this one? Again, that's another one where the X. Why does that keep happening with the Ex Machina? In the end, Plankton just runs into the freaking building. That's how it ends. I don't, like I didn't see it coming, but like that's the problem. I didn't see it coming. There was no lead up to it. It doesn't, I don't know. I guess some people like this. Some people like that the Ex Machina. I mean, I guess the definition Ex Machina means coming out of nowhere, but I would prefer a little setup, a little more. I'd like the feeling that it was smart and not just like so spontaneous. So I hope people watching this understand why I feel this way. But a good episode all in all. Of course, it's nice to see SpongeBob and Plankton. Mr. Lawrence has a great voice. And I really like the character of Plankton too. I don't know if he's my second favorite, probably my third. I'd say Plankton, Squidward, SpongeBob, and Plankton are my three favorite characters. Oh, Mr. Krabs is really good too, though. Oh man. Okay, Mr. Krabs would be 3, and then Plankton would be 4th. Kind of hard. I feel like it should just go with yeah, I think it should just go just above Plankton. It's definitely better than the Plankton. Maybe just because Plankton going into SpongeBob's brain's a little weird. I don't know why Steven Hillenburg felt the need to have so much body part humor in SpongeBob. Maybe it's just because of the way sea life works. Although sponges don't actually have brains, do they? I don't know that for sure. I don't like thinking about fish anatomy too much. It makes me uncomfortable. Where are we at? Nope, somebody left. I definitely understand Squidward. My man, I love me the Squidward. I'm a huge Squidward fan. He is the best. Oh, I love Squidward. I have to check in with you all more. Yeah, you know what? I'm just can't move down. Okay. We'll just sit here for a second. We'll probably not take a break at 8, though. We're just going to keep going. I don't care if this takes 2.5 hours. We're finishing this thing. All right, Muscle Bob Buff Pants. I knew it was going to take a long time. This is a lot of episodes. Muscle Bob Buff Pants. It's not in here, is it? Oh, you know what? It's probably up here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is the one where SpongeBob goes to the beach. And I swear, I just watched these episodes. Some of them can be a little bit forgetful, to be honest. But they go to the beach. There's a lot of good jokes in this one. Especially, SpongeBob has these gloves, right? And I know this. He blows up his gloves and he gets these muscles. And then he's not really strong, though. I was confused, though, about SpongeBob's strength. He's like so weak half the time he can't lift up a pencil whenever the situation needs it. And all of a sudden, like he's at the Krabby Patty, he's throwing Krabby Patties around. Suddenly he just gets strength. It's weird to me. I don't know why. Not really a criticism, but I guess the fact that the muscles explode is a little bit. I don't know. It's not like a super. It has really one really good joke that propels it up here, and I think it can safely be put up here just because of that one man during the anchor throwing contest who gets like stamped by the. No matter what they do, he just keeps getting stamped, and they just keep going on and on with it. But at the end, all that happens is muscles pop because they're balloons. It's something you can see coming, kind of, right? Yeah, I feel like it is. Again, if you're going to criticize storytelling, it might be stupid sometimes, but that's one of the big problems with it. Larry the Lobster is an interesting character. I don't hate him or anything. I just don't really know what to feel about him. I wouldn't want a whole episode about him for sure. Or if they did do a whole episode, they'd have to make him a lot more interesting. He's not a bad character though. He does his deed very well. Always like Sandy though. Think she's really good too. You gonna move? I'll just go back over here. Sandy's a really good character though. As far as SpongeBob and there was rumors going around that SpongeBob was homosexual. From my experience as a storyteller, I don't really think they were going in that direction. Except maybe in the SpongeBob movie, they kind of played around with the idea. Even there, I just feel like he's kind of just a cartoon character, to be honest. I don't think he really has a sexuality, but he does at times seem like he likes Sandy a lot. I feel like he's sensitive though, just because that was an intentional decision on Steve Hillenberg's part. We can put that above Squeaky Boots. And probably, you know what? Actually, I think it could be in the A. There's not too many bad. It has a really good joke in it, so I will put it in the A. And not just that, there's quite a few funny jokes in this. Of course, it's always funny seeing SpongeBob being weak. I'll put it above. I'll put it above Bubble Stand. Should I put it like above Naughty Nautical Neighbors in boating school though? I almost feel like it is. It really is just a solid episode though. Not, plenty of good jokes, not a lot bad to say. I think I can safely put it above Home Sweet Pineapple. I could see that. I really like in Home Sweet Pineapple too, the whole carpentry joke. My dad loved that joke as a kid. Maybe that's why I'm going to put it so high. Yeah, I think that's a good ranking right there. Squidward, the Unfriendly Ghost. This is another one where SpongeBob and Patrick don't understand boundaries. Although, I think one thing, Squidward could go a lot more into like stuff he can do to SpongeBob and Patrick. They do the old joke where they move things around. Oh, another reason I don't like Plankton? They had that lab joke. Usually the comedy in SpongeBob is really smart, and then Plankton will say, "This is my lab," and we'll see a Labrador dog, and then he'll say, "This is my laboratory," and we see a scientific lab. I don't know about you all. I don't think that's funny. Not to say that there isn't, but that, of course, obviously, humor is subjective. But again, that's why criticism exists. I mean, do you just want to hear me like talk about the music and stuff? No, nobody. That's boring. We got to talk about the story. We just got to risk it. We just got to risk it. Oh, it's better than Culture Shock, though. I'm putting it at Culture Shock. I think it should be. Oh, this is a hard one. It's funny seeing Squidward get to boss around SpongeBob and Patrick. I really feel for him. I'm a little too easy on Squidward sometimes, though. He can do some pretty mean things to SpongeBob and Patrick. Better than opposite day. Of course, they think Squidward's dead and they try to bury him. How does this one end, even? Jeez, I just watched these episodes. Oh, yeah, they blow a giant bubble and send him floating up into the sky. And then he's up there and he's saying, help. uh, yeah, it's interesting enough way to end the episode. Let's put squeaky boots. I think it's better than help wanted. I mean, yeah, it's probably better than opposite day. Just because it does it, it's very centered towards those characters and their dynamics. And Squidward finally just ends up admitting that he's not a ghost to SpongeBob and Patrick. That's how the episode kind of ends. I really like their relationship, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. It had been done before, but I think SpongeBob really just knocked it out of the park and made it a thing. The chaperone. SpongeBob is asked by Mr. Krabs to take Pearl to her school prom. So this one's kind of weird because you start to ask the question, how old is SpongeBob supposed to be? Like, we've seen his driver's license, and he says he's at least been at the Krusty Krab for like a year because of the Employee of the Month things, which were definitely more than 12. But he acts like a child, but he works. He reads comic books. I guess he's just a kid that really likes. I mean, I guess he's just an adult that really likes doing childish things. I imagine it's kind of like me, honestly. He really is. For the new person coming in, this is definitely moving a lot faster. The chaperone, Pearl isn't really one of my favorite characters. She's not bad. I mean, what do you even really say about Pearl? Is Pearl anyone's favorite character? She's like a teenage girl. I do kind of like she likes SpongeBob a lot better than a lot of the other characters. Like, I think she can tolerate him. I guess because she's around the same age that he's pretending to be. I mean, at the end of this, basically just SpongeBob annoys everyone. And, he does the sponge dance, do the sponge bunge, do the sponge, which is a banger. It's where I'll show you how it works. So what you do is you pick up your leg and you stick it in the air, and then you pick up the other one. So you take one leg in your hand, you put it in the air, and you take the other one and I wish, because it would be a lot funner. I kind of wish it didn't end with SpongeBob annoying everyone, but Bikini Bottom is mean. It's a mean place. You wouldn't really want to. Well, I guess I would live in Bikini Bottom if I had the option, but I don't know. It's not exactly a nice place to live. I'm going to put this in the B category just because I'm disappointed I can't actually do the sponge. That's the main reason. No, just because I don't know. Find elements of it. It's better than Help Wanted. At least more happens in it than Help Wanted. Not enough happens in Help Wanted. Just not sure I'm a big fan of that episode. It's such a shame too, because it was the first SpongeBob episode, and it just moves too quick, I think. I'm so sorry. Not enough happens though. Like, SpongeBob just goes to the store. Couldn't something happen in the store? Couldn't we see what a Bikini Bottom store is like? All right, Employee of the Month. This is where we start to question how long This is what is it? An employee of the month. This is where we discover Squidward can care if he wants to tick off SpongeBob. He basically gets so annoyed at SpongeBob that he actually starts doing a good job, and they run to the store to try and uh, be better than each other. And presumably, according to Wikipedia, neither SpongeBob or Squidward get the award. I wonder what the lesson of this one was. Basically, just, you know, some people really are into it and some people aren't, but you can get them into it if you. I don't know. It doesn't have the best lesson, does it? But I guess it's fine. It doesn't really have a lot of super funny. Like, is there any super memorable jokes from the Employee of the Month episode? I do love also the performance by Bumpus, Roger Bumpus. I had to go. I'll admit I had to go to pronounce that. I had a completely different idea how you pronounce that name. I wonder if anyone's ever told him that. Probably all the time. I probably say that to him, like, "Hey, does anyone ever notice your last name?" And he'd probably be like, "Yes." Yes, every single day of my life. All of elementary school at the playground. Pretty plain episode. It's just so plain. I mean, I barely even remember it. It's definitely better than Plankton, though. Definitely better than Nature Pants, really. I put it below Tree Dome. Not a bad episode, really. It's not bad. I think it is a B, honestly. It's good. You know, if I'm going to be the relaxed teacher type, it's just like, nah, you did a good job. Then yeah, that's where I'd like to put it. Just below Tree Dome. You want to take a leg in the air and you put the other one. We're almost there, everybody. Okay, let's check and make sure I'm getting it right here. Employee of the Munch, Scaredy Pants. So these are the scary episodes of SpongeBob. And they are legitimately scary. Oh, Scaredy Pants is already up there. Good. Oh, we can take this one down here. Then I wait for it to go down there. So Scaredy Pants is the Halloween episode. I remember really liking this one as a kid. It's definitely going to be an A. It's a very strong episode. A lot of good jokes. Good to see the Flying Dutchman. He's an interesting side character. Where am I going to put it? Reef Blower, Jellyfish Jam, Home Sweet Pineapple. Oh man, you know, it's so good to see a little bit of horror in Bikini Bottom. It's such a good aesthetic. By the way, all of these title cards are so beautiful. I was noticing that when I put them in here. Sorry, this is a hard one. It's so good though in some ways. I don't think it's like in the S tier. It's definitely better than Reef Blower though. I'd say it was above Reef Blower. If you can't tell, I really like the Reef Blower episode for some reason. It's kind of a weird reveal too at the end where it's just revealed SpongeBob shaved his head and like it scares away the Flying Dutchman and everybody. We see his brain again, some body humor from SpongeBob. Steven Hillenburg loves his take out SpongeBob's body part humor. Just a really good episode though. I guess it could have been, you know, spookier and there could have been more of a spooky aesthetic going on in the artwork. But just what they did was really good too. I'd say that would be my main complaint. For once, it'd be the artwork instead of the Ex Machina or anything. Because I don't think they really had too much of an Ex Machina going on here. I mean, I guess, you know, Patrick getting stung by a jellyfish and that being what caused him to reveal SpongeBob was a little bit of a bad Ex Machina. But I'm calling things ex machina that aren't really, right? I don't know though. That's an important moment in the plot. Like the driving forces in the plot of SpongeBob are really weird. I don't know if I like that method of storytelling. I'm just gonna say it. Whether it's wrong or not, I'll leave up to you all. You all can disagree, but trying to move it here. There we go. Okay, let's see what all you all are saying. Well, not much. Autumn. All right. I was a teenage Gary is up next. I remember. I'll check just in case. Okay. I was a teenage Gary. This one's like well known for being incredibly scary. And I think already we got one. Yeah, yeah. It's really just a spooky episode. If you haven't seen it, it goes in so many different weird directions, of course. Like it starts with, Squidward forgetting to feed Gary. Already, that's like kind of spooky. Somebody forgets to feed your pet. And Gary almost starves. And then they get a shot and it turns them into these weird snail creatures. If their intention was to go scary, this is probably I don't know of any scary episodes. Maybe in the later seasons. I haven't watched them. But I'd say this is definitely an A tier. I was a teenage Gary. Anything else about the plot I'm missing? I like the ending too. Patrick just throws a boot at Squidward. Squidward ends up learning his lesson. Yeah, really good episode. Really spooky, honestly. Maybe I should put it up in the S tier. It's a very good episode of SpongeBob. I mean, I guess it could have been a little scarier, of course. All right. Oh, this is the whole example where I was going to. So when I was watching these episodes, I was like, I'm going to give an example of where I feel like the Ex Machina didn't work. And I think this episode, SB9, is the perfect example of where the Ex Machina failed. This is it. This is the perfect one. The last one I'll mention because I've been talking a lot about that. But at the end of this episode, what happens is Squidward's sitting there in the time machine trying to get back home, and he just says, "I want to go home." And the time machine, even though it's broken, works just because he said that. It's just like you wonder why they did it this way. Like why wouldn't you try to come up with something a little more clever? In fact, I think this episode, it's considered one of the greatest in SpongeBob. That reason, because if you mess up at the end, it's a really big deal in storytelling. That is something I want to say. Like if you have like some parts in the middle that are wrong, it's not that big of a deal. If you mess up at the end, then it just looks like really bad. Of course, there's plenty, I mean, the ending's the most important part. That's what everyone's gonna, they're gonna go home and talk about. So if you mess up with the end, man, you've messed up. The cavemen part 2 was a little slow, but I love the places they go. I love the future. I even like the setup of this, where Squidward gets frozen in like the refrigerator. All right, nothing going on there. So yeah, I actually put it below Reef Blower. I think it's considered one of the greatest episodes, and it is a really good episode. It wouldn't be one of my favorites. It's a shame too. I really like it. Karate Choppers. This is kind of the example of a plainer episode. Not by any means terrible. Boy, we've been talking for 2 hours. I'm going to keep going too. I knew it was going to take a long time with these. This is just a very long process with these, especially since we've had some problems, Then again, this is like the third one, I think, where I've just had to say, I don't even really know what to say about it. I mean, it's a good episode. Not a ton happens. There's not even really a lot of funny things that happen. I like the setup for this one, where it's just SpongeBob and Sandy fighting each other at first, and you're kind of wondering where the plot's going to go. And then it ends up being that Mr. Krabs doesn't want SpongeBob doing karate until he realizes that it's beneficial to him. And then, eventually SpongeBob and Sandy are like, well, Sandy's like, oh, sorry, Mr. Krabs, I won't have karate with SpongeBob anymore, but they can't resist themselves. Them going to a picnic. It's just one of those episodes, I don't really know what to say about it, really. Maybe if I was a writer for like the New York Times, I'd be able to say more. I think it's about at like Nature Pants level where it's really good. It's just there's not much to say. So we will put it below Culture Shock, I guess. It's definitely not bad. It's so it has a good enough lesson too. I mean, the lesson goes well. I guess there's just not much memorable that happens. There's not even really that many funny things that happen in it. Like, there's not many jokes that I could really cite that were hilarious. Sleepy Time. All right, this is one of my favorites. It is such a good episode. It's definitely better than Sandy's Rocket. This episode's really good, like Pizza Time, and it's so much happens in it, and just it's like Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb. One of the reasons why I would consider that show a masterpiece at the level of Shakespeare, and I'm not even joking about that. I legitimately think Phineas and Ferb is at Shakespearean level from somebody who studied Shakespeare and stuff. But one of the things Phineas and Ferb is really good at, and it's incredible they're able to do this, is having like two storylines going on and four over the course of the entire episode, and managing to make it work, and also having music videos. It's very hard to have that much going on and do it all in 11 minutes. Having two storylines, that is incredibly impressive. And this one, we see so many SpongeBob characters in such a short amount of time. Oh man, Sleepy Time's going. I'd say, oh man, I mean, I like too that Patrick's the only one that's not mad at SpongeBob over all of this. I do think Pizza Delivery is better, maybe just because of the emotion of the characters. But that's another thing about this episode, Sleepy Time. It might not be the most emotional one, except that SpongeBob annoys everyone. But I will give them credit. It manages to be entertaining the whole way through. Every time SpongeBob enters a dream, they've come up with a very creative way of him doing it. How he enters Pearl's dream. I'm surprised that the episode carries so well. So Sleepy Time would be below Pizza Delivery. Yeah. All right. Oh, Pizza Delivery, Sleepy Time, Rip Pants, Sandy's Rocket. Yeah, that's right. And the stuff they come up with for the dreams, I mean, it's not the biggest things in the world. Some of them are, like Gary's dream. It's so imaginative, so creative. I think that's kind of one of the reasons why some of these will be lower than these, because of the creativity. Like the journey of SpongeBob and Squidward across that sandy desert, or the travels through the dreams, even though it doesn't make any sense why SpongeBob can travel into other people's dreams and they never explain it. Nobody cares. It's SpongeBob. Rip Pants, going to the moon. That's the kind of stuff you'll want from SpongeBob. You want to be able to remember it, to feel that crazy and dreamlike quality. Really, honestly, this one might be up there, and both of these might be in the top 10 greatest SpongeBob episodes ever. I do think too that the plot for Pizza Delivery is better, but man, it's amazing that episode works as well as it does. Just SpongeBob going into different friends' dreams. That could have easily not worked. The Suds. We're really getting into good ones. So this is the one where SpongeBob's supposed to go to the doctor because he's getting sick, but he won't go, and he has Patrick help him instead. Which, of course, I mean, Patrick's one of the funny things about him is that 1 second he just seems like he's a complete idiot. But then he'll think all of a sudden, he'll get like all philosophical. He'll be like, "Well, SpongeBob, this is the way you do this." He'll be like a wise instructor, and you're sitting there like, Patrick, you live under a rock. It's a really good episode. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the classics for sure. Definitely in the A category. It's always funny to see Tom Kennedy in a shower hat, standing there naked, and then he's getting wiped off by his own creation. Definitely a very imaginative episode. Is it at? And it's not at its SB 129 levels. I really wish SB 129 didn't have to be that low. It's a shame because there is a lot of great things in it, but it just messes up some of the parts in it that in a big way too. It's a shame. It's a shame. Bubble stand, boating school, home sweet pineapple, jellyfish jam. I'd say it's better than jellyfish jam. Probably not better than Scaredy Pants. Probably put it in between Scaredy Pants and jellyfish jam. Humor in this one's really good, though, I have to say. Definitely where they show off their humor for sure. Put it right here, Scaredy Pants. I was expecting more in the S tier, to be honest. I usually put a lot in the S tier. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of good jokes. I guess it's hard to see SpongeBob suffer. And I don't also find the joke with him getting bigger and bigger from the cold to be that funny. A few jokes I didn't really think worked. All in all, though, yeah, really good, especially that ending sequence. Just a really good episode. Okay. I haven't seen any comments from anyone. Well, we're getting towards the end, I think. 16. Oh, Valentine's Day. So, I remember somebody saying they really hated this episode. I mean, it's fine. It's weird to even have an episode about Valentine's Day and SpongeBob SquarePants. Where should I put it? It's just a weird holiday one. You know, it's kind of, I just don't know if it's in character for Patrick to go that crazy because he didn't get what he wanted. It's also hard to watch, of course. You know, I just expect better out of Patrick, really. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird episode, you know, with Sandy. They have this big chocolate balloon that they're going to give Patrick. I mean, Patrick himself just isn't enough of a threat there at the third act to warrant this, you know, to warrant the kind of strong emotion I think they're going for. I'd almost rather see him just like rip apart the whole stadium or something, or get a whole like army of bikini, because Bikini Bottom is the easiest group of people or a group of fish or whatever you call fish, a school of fish to brainwash. They will be brainwashed by anything. I'm sure you could get Patrick could have gotten the whole town to fight alongside him and destroy SpongeBob. They just didn't go big enough. But it was a very funny episode for like, I don't know, for a few jokes. I always love Glove World. I don't think it's at Pickles level. Well, I don't like the Plankton one. We'll put it above Fun. Yeah, I think that's fair. C. There hasn't been a ton that are at D. I don't like putting things at D to begin with. It's better than Pickles. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I'd say that's true. Not a bad SpongeBob episode. Not really one of the greatest. Oh, this is the one, the paper, where SpongeBob finds a piece of paper and Squidward gets jealous of it. The paper. That was a cool piece of paper. SpongeBob, one of the cool things is how many things they found to do with that piece of paper. Like SpongeBob's making it into like a movie. He's like flying around with it. He's making noises. And Squidward ends up giving up his entire house and everything he has for the piece of paper. But because Squidward doesn't have SpongeBob's imagination, he can't do all the stuff that SpongeBob is able to. Yeah, it's a really good episode. I'll always love the creative stuff you can do with paper, of course. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as putting it in the S tier. The lessons sometimes in SpongeBob are weird. I think the lesson here is just, I guess, what is the lesson? What do you learn? I guess SpongeBob doesn't really have lessons, though. I think sometimes it's just, it just happened. It's kind of funny. It's just like, oh well, we're just sarcastic people. That's pretty much the writer room. We are sarcastic people. You can just see them just holding up their hand. We are the sarcastic people. It's up there. I mean, like I said, I don't even have anything that much bad to say. Not any like huge funny joke. Feels like everyone's in line character-wise, though. It's a little more forgivable, though. I'd say just between Home Sweet Pineapple and Fish Jam. Notice how many A's, though, we've got. This has been a very successful show. I don't really have much to say about the artwork because it does remain pretty consistent, all the music and the artwork. It's just really good. Really good stuff. All right, Arg's up next. Arg. I think everyone can agree. We're all good over here. I think everybody can agree that the game board in this episode is pretty darn cool. Of course, always nice to see the Flying Dutchman. Good to see Mr. Krabs punished. I would have liked a little more serious of a punishment for him. But yeah, it's just all in all, just a really good episode. I think it's better than Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. That one's really good, but it's forgettable enough. I'd say it's below. I'd say it's a little above Jellyfish. I'd say it's at Jellyfish Jam level because there's not really much wrong with it again, except maybe Mr. Krabs' attitude at the end. I kind of like seeing, they had this episode in the later seasons where it was revealed that Mr. Krabs was really into comic books. A lot of people were like, that's not in line with his character. And I'm like, well, he can be fun. Like, he can understand SpongeBob. He really can. I really like the character of Mr. Krabs because he's almost like the villain of the story, but he's not. Because he every now and then he'll just be the good guy, but except when it comes to money. Mr. Krabs adores money to an extreme level. And it's cool to see a character that extremely in love with money. He's a very extreme example of greed, which should make him the villain of the story, but he's not. It shows kids sometimes that people can be like greedy, but still very good people. They can have other good qualities about them. It's not just greed is evil. All right. Rock Bottom. This is a legendary one, too. A legendary day at Glove World. Everyone's favorite amusement park. What a funny idea. Glove World. Love that. Rock Bottom. Okay, where should we put Rock Bottom? Very good episode. It's so quiet and eerie. There's not a ton happening except SpongeBob's at Rock Bottom. But, that's all you really need. I'd love it if they went back to Rock. I'm sure they do. But I'd love it if they go back to Rock Bottom in later SpongeBob episodes. One thing I definitely love compared to the newer ones is the editing is so much better where now it's just so fast paced and so many weird facial expressions and stuff like they're trying to create memes. Whereas old SpongeBob has plenty of memes, but they did it not at the risk of making the story good. It wasn't just to distract you. It wasn't just to get a meme. It's funny. The Ex Machina is not very good with they just ties a balloon around his hand and blows it, and he flies up in the air. It's okay, not a bad one. Still, a really good episode. I still think SB 129 is better, but I do think it's better than Scaredy Pants just because of the environment. That's one of the complaints I had about Scaredy Pants. Yeah, I'd say that it's just. Oh no, no, not as good as SB 129 though. I know that's a legendary one. I think that's like a lot of people's top 10 favorites. I just, again, SpongeBob's not good at Ex Machina. I don't know why. All right, let's see. What's next? Texas. We're nearing the end, everybody. Don't worry. Wish I was in Texas. Great song. Miss Lawrence does a great job singing. I don't know if she's Plankton's girlfriend or not, but the person who plays Sandy's last name is Lawrence. Yeah, it's always good. It's so nice sometimes to see the SpongeBob SquarePants and his town being nice. I mean, I'd much rather prefer to live in Phineas and Ferb's world because everyone there seems super nice. But I do admit there's times when SpongeBob's world, you're like, these are good people down deep. They're just a little bit. They need SpongeBob. That's what it is. They need SpongeBob to lighten up their life. Okay, Texas. Really good episode. Again, probably an A. Yeah, I'd say it's at jellyfishing maybe standards. Squeaky Boots, definitely better than Squeaky Boots. Of course, always funny because she swears she's gonna. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about it here. This one I have to think about. Squeaky Boots. It's definitely better than Squeaky Boots. Definitely better than jellyfishing. Bubble Stand. Better than Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy or Muscle Bob. Not as good as the paper, I don't think. I think it's just below the paper. The paper one is surprisingly good for me. I don't know how other people feel about it. Good to see some hillbilly stuff in SpongeBob SquarePants too. And it's always funny how SpongeBob's world works, where it just seems like, and I guess this is one of the good things about having such bad like twists sometimes, but Sandy's drove off. She's far away, and SpongeBob and Patrick are there, and Patrick's like, "Yeah, who cares about dumb old Texas, anyways?" And Sandy just drives right back. What did you say about Texas? Texas people are dumb. Patrick's hilarious. By the way, I do find him funny. Yeah, it's probably Squidward, SpongeBob. I guess Plankton. Yeah, Plankton and Patrick. Oh, Mr. Krabs and Patrick. I guess Patrick's fifth. Patrick. They're all. That's one of the great things about SpongeBob SquarePants, though. They had really good characters on them. All right, we're going to go to the next ones. Nothing super imaginative happens in that one, though. I guess that's the only reason, really, that I'm putting it lower. Honestly, yeah, it is. It's just not as fantastical as some of them. They don't really even go to that many locations. They go to the beach very briefly. You don't really see too much of it. Is this the one where SpongeBob pretends to be Squidward? Because I always found that part of the show weird. Because SpongeBob says, "I'm just being annoying," or I'm just being boring. And like I thought SpongeBob like adored Squidward at an unreal level. Doesn't he not find him boring? Why would he say that when he's playing him? I guess at some level SpongeBob realizes that Squidward is annoying, but he loves him anyways. Oh, the April Fool's episode. Fools in April. I mean, it's not that bad. I guess the reason why I don't really like it all that much, and I'm not going to put it in the D category because again, I'm a cool teacher type. But the reason I don't really like it too much is just watching, SpongeBob play these dumb pranks on people that aren't even funny, like the ice cube thing. And yeah, I get it. That's kind of the joke. But it's also not getting laughs when he's like, "Oh, I just put a few ice cubes in." And to be fair, like this show has really great humor, and having bad humor in a show like this, it's hard not to do. I mean, yeah, even Phineas and Ferb had plenty of bad jokes in it. It can't be helped at some level when you're going through thousands of jokes per episode, and they do have a good number of good jokes. And I guess the problem with the SpongeBob twist for me too is that you just have things happen and that can be the punchline for everything, but it's just such a cheat at the same time. Like having all of SpongeBob's friends and stuff there when Squidward gives his confession. All right, Neptune Spatula, another one I really hate. This was a weak, well, according to me, it's a weak one. I don't know if that means anything. Yeah, it's good to see Neptune, of course. That's one reason why I like this one. I think I could go over April Fool's just because Neptune's in it and he's got magic powers. I feel like it is good always to see how I love it when the Krusty Krab is a successful restaurant and not a failure because there's so much failure going on in Bikini Bottom. It's always nice to remember that SpongeBob is talented. That's the one thing that's pretty consistent in the show. He does have a lot of talent aside of being a little scatterbrained. But he can pull off these amazing things like cooking and stuff. And it's always good to know that SpongeBob, he's a good fry chef. And that they're all going to come to the Krusty Krab and not the Chum Bucket to eat. Yeah, and not really a ton happens in this episode aside of, Neptune challenging SpongeBob. I'm surprised this episode's 11 minutes long, that they weren't able to do more in that amount of time. And again, it's just SpongeBob giving everyone the crab. It's just not as creative as a lot of episodes. I guess I just really like SpongeBob episodes where a ton of stuff happens in a little bit of time. It's better for the kids too because it's just faster paced and stuff. All right, we're on the last two, and we'll be done for the night. Hooky and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Did we already do Boating School? We must have. Hooky and Mermaid Man. Oh, yeah, there's Boating School. So this one just slid in there. I knew I put two of some of the things in here on accident. Hooky and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Hooky is one of the famous ones because SpongeBob goes naked, of course. Excuse me. It's not really burps I'm doing, it's just sort of. Yeah, it's always good to get the lesson of don't go near dangerous hooks if you see them. The hooks are kind of cool to see, of course, because, SpongeBob, everyone's fishing for him. And it ends with him just getting naked in front of a bunch of girls, which, of course, I think we can all identify with. Maybe I'm living a more interesting life than all of you. Ooh, slam! No. Hooky or jellyfishing? We're doing the suds. Suds better than suds. Oh, it's better than suds, but it's not. I don't think it's as good as Scaredy Pants. Good to see that Patrick isn't really all that smart and just does the wrong thing. I don't think there's any real. There's just a few good jokes. Obviously, the ending where SpongeBob's naked in front of all of his friends. I mean, maybe they could have gone further with it. I don't know. It's already going pretty far, though. SpongeBob nudie pants. Classic line. Really good episode, honestly. I don't want it above Scaredy Pants. I think any episode, though, of SpongeBob needs to be as imaginative as possible and have a lot of creative scenery and stuff. I think that's something that I do wish season one SpongeBob had done more of, to be honest. All right. So Hooky was a good episode, though. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. So this is the one, it's a weird episode to end off on, which is okay, I guess. I get how the show was made. I don't even think they had control of the order that these episodes went into. So there could be all sorts of inconsistencies. But I love Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I really like them as characters, even though making fun of old people. That's just my computer running low on battery. But we're almost done anyways. This is the last one. I'd say put it. I don't think it's well, it's more interesting than the first one for sure. A lot more happens. They end up just ditching him well, of course, the dirty bubble's kind of weak with SpongeBob just popping him with a pencil. But I mean, I love Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy too. I feel like the first one is technically better, but the second one's more eventful. There's a lot more that happens in it. But I still got to go with putting it down. We'll put it above Bubble Stand. No, I think we can put it above Naughty Nautical Neighbor 2 and Boating School. Maybe I should just put them together, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. I think that's fair. I don't think I'm going to need to change them. I'm pretty confident in what I've got already. There we are. We did it, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know earlier on we were definitely having problems with the with everything, really. And it definitely is taking a little while to get used to how slow this mouse is being. But other than that, I think everything went well. We really made some good points. I feel like this is an official list. It is difficult doing shows over like movies because one, so many times it's pretty uneventful what happens. Whereas in movies, all these big things happen. It's much easier to point to what went wrong or what went right. But at the end of the day, SpongeBob is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. It has beautiful animation. The first season was a little rougher. I don't think the first season is as good as later seasons, but that's partially budget cost. I don't think Nickelodeon ever had much fate in SpongeBob, and it's a shame because instead they wanted to put all their energy into this man who was completely terrible. I really hate that story because every time I think about it, like Steven Hildenberg was right there. Why didn't you worship him? But instead you worship some guy that's like completely terrible and that the cast members hated him. I don't know. Maybe he knew people at Nickelodeon or something, or had family and they just couldn't get rid of him or whatever. But that fact that his story ended somewhat happily, really, like he didn't really get that big of a. I guess he had a big enough. I mean, he was exposed to the public eventually, but yeah, it's a sad story. So there we are. Oh my gosh, it didn't move. Boating School. Yeah, I'd say that's right. I like that Mermaid Man. I think they just happen to be at the same level. You know what? Yeah, I think that's right. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, and then Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I really am not just saying that because of the slowness of the internet. There's a lot more that happens in the second one than the first one. A lot bigger things too, you know. In the first one, man, just that little tidal pool. I don't know. Their powers aren't that interesting. All right, yeah, and the voice actor Tom Kenny and stuff. Just music. I love the music of SpongeBob. Beautiful music for that show, and the characters are great, of course. These are such. They have so many layers. It's not like Scooby Doo. As much as I like Scooby Doo, I will admit Scooby Doo. Their characters began to gain depth as they went along, but SpongeBob characters were deep from the very beginning. They're very intricate. So now I guess the only thing left is to make sure that everything's where I want it and to announce the winners. The winner. All right. So I think everything's right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not probably going to change anything. I'm pretty happy with it. Mainly, I think what I learned from this doing a show is that you just have to pick the ones that are the most imaginative and have the most going on. Because, the ones that don't have a lot of like imagination can be pretty weak. But anyways, that's my opinion on storytelling, I guess. So whatever. Anyways, now I'm going to announce the winners. I'm sorry if I missed any or got anything wrong. Please tell me in the comments if I did. I don't think I did, but this is what I'm going with. So at number 1 for the SpongeBob SquarePants Season 1 list, Pizza Delivery, the best SpongeBob episode. At number 2, Sleepy Time. At number 3, Ripped Pants. At number 4, Sandy's Rocket, but just because I love spaceships. At number 5, I Was a Teenage Gary. At number 6, Reef Blower. At number 7, SB129. At number 8, Rock Bottom. At number 9, Scaredy Pants. At number 10, Okay. At number 11, Suds. At number 12, Jellyfish Jam. At number 13, Arg. At number 14, Home Sweet Pineapple. At number 15, The Paper. At number 16, Texas. At number 17, Muscle Bob Buff Pants. At number 18, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. At number 19, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. At number 20, Boating School. At number 21, Naughty Nautical Neighbors. At number 22, Bubble Stand. At number 23, Jellyfishing. At number 24, Squeaky Boots. At number 25, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. At number 26, Opposite Day. At number 27, The Chaperone. At number 28, Help Wanted. At number 29, Tea at the Tree Dome. At number 30, Employee of the Month. At number 31, Nature Pants. At number 32, Culture Shock. At number 33, Karate Chop. At number 34, Plankton. At number 35, Hall Monitor. At number 36, Fun. At number 37, Pickles. At number 38, Valentine's Day. At number 39, Fools in April. And at number 40, Neptune Spatula. Didn't we miss Walking Small, though? There's Walking Small. Maybe we didn't. Oh, we might have. I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere here in the Wikipedia list. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, that was the one where Plankton goes to the beach and becomes aggressively nice. I don't know. I think SpongeBob saving the beach was a little quickly put together. Well, you know what they say, it's never a good episode unless you're missing one. As long as it's just one. Yeah, we're good. It's just the one. So we will put Walking Small here. Anyone want me to repeat it? We're at 225 though. That was a good episode. Yeah, Walking Small. Kind of reminds me of Plankton. I'd say it's the perfect I guess B episode because I'm very relaxed, of course. I'd say it's definitely above Squeaky Boots. And jellyfishing is probably better than that. I'd say it's an A then. Bubble Stand? Okay, yeah. I think the main problem with that one is just SpongeBob being aggressively nice is too quick. But there's a lot of good jokes in that one too. That's another reason I'm putting it so high. Guess I could put it above. I could put it above Nautical Neighbors though. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, that's it. Do you want me to repeat it? The numbers? I guess we could. We'll do it quicker. Is that right? Walking Small, Boating School. So boating school is when he goes to the boat. Okay, so I think yeah, that's a little better. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. A lot of good jokes though on that one. I like the eel joke and the ice cream. And then of course SpongeBob wanting to be evil is funny because he doesn't get it. There's a lot of good jokes in that one. A lot of really funny lines. It's a shame really to put it that low, but I still think it's right. I mean, a lot of the meanness and the goodness, it's just one of those things with Twist and SpongeBob. They come too quick or they're not very well set up. And there's a few weak jokes, of course, but there's really good ones in Walking Small. I will give Walking Small that over Boating School and all the other ones. And really even Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2 and 1. We'll just go through it real fast again. So number 1, Pizza Delivery. 2, Sleepy Time. 3, Rip Pants. 4, Sandy Rocket. 5, I Was a Teenage Gary. 6, Reef Blower. SB. No, I don't want it. No one's here anyways. You all pretty much get what it was, right? Oh, we'll just do it again. At number 1, Pizza Delivery. At 2, Sleepy Time. At 3, Ripped Pants. At 4, Sandy's Rocket. At 5, I Was a Teenage Gary. At 6, Reef Blower. At 7, SB 129. At 8, Rock Bottom. At 9, Scaredy Pants. At 10, Hooky. At 11, Suds. At 12, Jellyfish Jam. At 13, Org. At 14, Home Sweet Pineapple. At 15, The Paper. At 16, Texas. At 17, Muscle Bob Buff Pants. At 18, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. At 19, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. At 20, Walking Small. At 21, Boating School. At number 22, Naughty Nautical Neighbors. At 23, Bubble Stand. At 24, Jellyfishing. At 25, Squeaky Boots. At 26, Squidward, the Unfriendly Ghost. At 27, Opposite Day. At 28, The Chaperone. At 29, Help Wanted. At 30, Tea at the Tree Dome. At 31, Employee of the Month. At 32, Nature Pants. At 33, Culture Shock. At 34, Karate Chop. At 35, Plankton. At 36, Hall Monitor. At 37, Fun. At 38, Pickles. At 39, Valentine's Day. At 40, Fools in April. And at 41, Neptune's Spatula. We did it. We survived it all together. Nobody's here, though, but that's okay. What can I say? I'm really excited to do my new Trickshot video. I hope you all watch. SpongeBob will be in it, so please check it out, if for no other reason than that. I love you all, and I will say that SpongeBob is going to stay in my heart for a very long time. He is just a very happy person. I don't think Bikini Bottom would be the same without him. I think we all need a little bit of positivity like that. But Squidward's better, just for the record.